So not only is everyone else going to forget who Peter Parker is, but Peter Parker is going to forget who Peter Parker is.
We get much more complete footage of the web tornado that he does with his organic web shooters in the prison against the Hand. There's even a slow-motion shot where he sees a shuriken flying past his eyes because his agility gets boosted so much after he comes out of the cocoon. We get a tiny bit more footage of Sadie Sink's character when she's in the hoodie. This is what her face looks like when the brightness is cranked up. You can actually see her face underneath the hood, but she also has a mask on underneath that to completely disguise who she is. Sony even released a Chinese promo of her joking about who she might or might not be. The whole promo is her trying to avoid saying who she's playing. It sounds like they're really going to keep that secret until the movie literally hits theaters. We will see if any of the trades get to see the movie a couple of days early and it leaks out officially that way. But I think for the most part, we're all on the same page that she's probably playing a version of Jean Grey. I know there are still a couple of theories out there though, so the big reminder is to hold your theories loosely because a lot of things can change. But I do think for the most part, everybody's theory is right on the money. We get a little bit more footage of him going to MJ's in the Spider-Man suit, trying to protect her and convince her about what's going on. I love how skeptical she is when he first busts through the window, like, wait a minute, you might not be the real Spider-Man. During the separate Spidey tracker footage, you actually see him encountering Ned while he's in the suit in their apartment again. Ned's Spidey tracker starts going off, and then he realizes Spider-Man is standing right in front of him. Oh, that's why the alert is going off. My early assumption is this happens relatively close to where the MJ footage takes place, so she's seen him in the suit before, but she's not totally convinced that he is the real Spider-Man yet, until eventually she gives up and says, okay, fine, I will come with you. And they do actually web-sling together. We've seen that footage before. It also looks very much like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man swinging with MJ through the city in the first Spider-Man movie. We get another scene with a parade celebrating him with a bunch of banners. This also feels like Spider-Man 3 when they had that parade celebrating him. There's just a lot of Tobey Maguire energy during these scenes. I know a lot of people want to see Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man return. I am 99% sure he will be back in Avengers Secret Wars, but I'm not expecting to see him in Avengers Doomsday. You also notice in some of this behind-the-scenes footage that he's inside Banner's lab when he's fighting the Hulk and his mask is off, so that means he reveals to the Hulk that he is Peter Parker. We'll see how that scene plays out. Originally, in the comics, the twist was that the Hulk remembered Peter was Spider-Man, but Banner did not. Doctor Strange's spell worked on Banner because he was a normal person, but it didn't affect the Hulk's mind in the same way, so Hulk remembered Peter Parker. They also make a really big deal about recreating a lot of iconic comic book covers throughout the movie. They show some of them, though probably not all because some might be spoilers. Mostly, as I've talked about before, things like Amazing Fantasy 15, the very first Spider-Man cover, the Aracora cover, and the Boomerang cover. I think there's probably going to be a Tombstone cover or two, but they just don't want to show too much of Tombstone yet. We've gotten behind-the-scenes looks at him, so we know he's in the movie, but we haven't seen actual footage of him in the trailers.
You blast like a bitch.
We also get a little bit more footage of him fighting Scorpion during a different part of the movie when he has his jacket on, which is another comic reference. The reason it looks like Scorpion has telekinesis is because his tail is lifting Spider-Man up, and that will be done with special effects. I already did a video about that trailer that included the Ramrod cover too, featuring a relatively obscure Daredevil and Spider-Man villain. Even though Daredevil is supposed to be in this movie, many of Daredevil's villains also become Spider-Man villains. We also get more behind-the-scenes footage of him taking MJ to the Punisher's lair, where he's keeping his Golden Girl boat from the comics before helping fight the Hulk. We get more footage of him and MJ working on Banner's inhibitor. They might be trying to add some anti-gamma technology to it, maybe to stop the Hulk, or maybe to help with Peter's powers. Remember, MJ went to MIT, and they said in this movie she's back in New York trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life and hasn't taken a full-time job yet. So the idea is that Spider-Man is trying to figure out his future while she's trying to figure out hers. That's also why she's able to help him work on his Spider-Man gear, because she has technical skills too. The previous John Watts movies never really explored that side of her character, even through No Way Home. It mostly focused on Ned being the guy in the chair and doing the engineering work. One of the bigger questions is Peter talking to Banner about suppressing his mutation and asking how to keep the good parts without the bad parts, and Banner basically tells him that he doesn't get to control that side of himself. He's still stuck with the Hulk. He was briefly able to merge with the Hulk and become Professor Hulk, but that seems to have ended over the last couple of years because he's been wearing the inhibitor and suppressing the Hulk completely, which has probably made the Hulk pretty angry. Previously, going all the way back to Eric Bana's Hulk and Edward Norton's Hulk, the central idea was always Banner fighting the Hulk for control of his body. But the early rumor is that Sadie Sink's Jean Grey is the one who mind controls him and causes him to Hulk out, then eventually helps calm him back down with her telepathy. So she creates the problem and later helps solve it. The closest thing we've seen to this on screen was in X-Men 97 Season 1, when Morph turned into the Hulk and Jean Grey used her powers to boost him during the Savage Land storyline. Everybody post your reactions below and let me know what other references you think we're going to see to Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man in Brand New Day. Now that we're getting close to the movie's release, we'll probably get a couple more clips, and I'll make videos on whatever they release, so leave your requests in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.